So have you ever been like staring at your single monitor and just felt totally boxed in?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Right. You're trying to track a bunch of data feeds for work or maybe keeping an eye on like 3 different sports games.
Or gaming while checking the news.
Exactly. And the bottleneck isn't the content, it's the screen. So welcome to today's deep dive. We're looking at a specific piece of AV hardware from HDTV Supply designed to fix this. It's the WolfPack 4K 60 Hz 5x1 multiviewer.
Right, and the whole goal here is basically maximizing the real estate you already have. I mean, this device takes up to 5 inputs.
5.
Yeah, so that's 3 HDMI 2.0 and 2 DisplayPort connections, and it consolidates all of them into one single 4K 60 Hz HDMI output plus a dedicated audio out.
Okay, but handling that much data is where I usually get a bit skeptical because we're talking about an 18 gigabit per second data fire hose here.
Yeah, it's massive.
And it's keeping an uncompressed 4.4.4 color space intact, which for you listening, that color space basically means the text on a monitor computer screen stays razor sharp instead of, bleeding at the edges.
Right, exactly.
But pushing 5 high-res feeds into one output usually means massive input lag. Like if I'm gaming on one of those quadrants, how is this thing not just choking on all that processing?
Well, that's really the difference between a software solution and a hardware solution. I mean, if you resize a bunch of windows on your PC, you're taxing the computer's general CPU.
Right, which bogs everything down.
Exactly. But this box uses dedicated hardware chips, so it's not juggling tasks. It's doing one specific mathematical interpolation in real time.
So it's less like a traffic cop stopping cars
Yeah.
and more like a live television control room.
That's a great way to put it.
Like it doesn't pause the video feeds.
Yeah.
It takes 4 separate live broadcasts, instantly crops and shrinks them, and then sews them together onto a single digital canvas 60 times a second.
Yeah, it's analyzing a lower resolution feed and instantly guessing what the missing pixel should be to fit perfectly into a 4K quadrant, frame by frame.
Oh, wow.
And because it's doing this on the hardware level, it achieves that fast, seamless switching, especially in single window mode, without the stuttering or black screens you get when a typical display tries to sort of think about a new signal.
Okay, so the hardware can handle the math. But doing the math doesn't really matter if it's miserable to actually use, right? How are people practically dividing up that screen space?
So it actually gives you 8 different working modes and layouts.
Wait, 8?
Yeah, and looking at the user reviews in the source material, that flexibility is really the main selling point. At a $375 price tag, power users are pointing out its utility for heavy multitasking.
Right, I saw one user in Oregon mentioned their setup allows the kids to play Xbox on one section of the screen while the adults watch TV on another.
Yeah, which genuinely changes how a shared display functions.
Let's be realistic, though. I mean, at $375, this isn't exactly cheap. And I noticed a pretty glaring blind spot in the specs.
The interlaced signals.
Yes, it completely rejects interlaced signals. If I have an older, like, 1080i camera or a legacy cable box, why does this thing just give up?
Well, it's a rigid boundary. If you plug in a legacy 1080i source, you literally get nothing.
Wait, really? Nothing at all?
Nothing. And the reason comes back to how the image is actually drawn. Interlaced video draws every other line on the screen in alternating frames.
Right.
But this multiviewer's processor requires full progressive frames, like whole pictures, to be able to mathematically shrink and stack them. It simply can't sew half-drawn pictures together.
Ah, okay, that makes total sense. It needs the whole puzzle piece, not just half of one. But there's another catch with the inputs themselves too, right?
Yeah, regarding those 2 DisplayPort inputs, if your setup consists of, say, 5 HDMI sources, you can't just plug them all in out of the box.
Right, because using those DisplayPort connections for HDMI sources requires buying separate converters.
Exactly. You have to factor that into your setup.
Good to know. So, I mean, if you play by its technical rules, the WolfPack 5x1 multiviewer is a seriously powerful tool for taking absolute control over a 4K display.
It really is. And, it highlights a fascinating divide in consumer tech. I mean, as our displays get larger, cheaper, and smarter, you have to wonder about the trajectory of our living rooms.
Right. Like, will the TV of tomorrow be its own control room with hardware multiviewers built directly into the screen?
Yeah. Or will the demand for true zero-lag, high-bandwidth processing mean we will always need dedicated silicon to do the heavy lifting?
That's a really great point. It's the underlying tension between built-in convenience and dedicated performance.
Absolutely.
Well, that's definitely something to chew on the next time you feel boxed in by a single screen. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.